Ag PhD full episodes and more are now available on Acres TV, the newest ag platform connecting you to fields of information. Look for us on watchacrestv.com. When the summer solstice arrives each year, we've got the longest day length of the year, and I love it. As a farm kid growing up, when we had those long days where it seemed to be sunny for more than 12 hours, I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. I could do everything I wanted to do and see just great. That was wonderful, but I didn't realize that the day length is a little bit different depending on where you're at in the country. So we're going to talk about day length today and some of the important things about that.
Well, it was more than it seemed like more than 12 hours. It was a lot more than 12 hours. Let me give you some statistics here real quick. If you're in Fargo, North Dakota, for example, on June 21st, sunrise is 5:33 a.m., sunset is 9:25 p.m. That's 15 hours and 52 minutes of day length, almost 16 hours. But if you're in Houston, Texas, which is about 1,200 miles straight south of Fargo, you only have about 14 hours of sun, 6:22 a.m. sunrise to 8:25 p.m. sunset.
Well, that's a big difference. And you think, well, I'm okay with 14 hours. That's enough for me. Your crops might not be. If your crops can catch more sunlight, that's the chance for them to accumulate more energy. And that's a good thing. When you think about how short that season is in Fargo compared to Houston, if we want to stay with that example, we're not going to have a lot of heat later in the season. So getting a little more day length allows for a wide variety of crops to reach full maturity, even in Fargo, North Dakota.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people from the southern U.S. will ask me, okay, we live in South Dakota, not in Fargo, in North Dakota or anything, but still it's close to the same. And they go, hey, how can you guys raise crops up there because you don't have a lot of heat, you don't have a long growing season or anything? Well, sunlight is a really big key because it's all about turning that sunlight into energy, into plant growth, and we have a big advantage there in the northern U.S. just because we have so many hours of sun.
Well, you think about planting date, and many growers, especially in the north, will target, hey, if I can get in early, I can get more plant growth out there, more leaves to catch the sunlight on those really long sunlight days. And we get a huge impact on our crops with more yield by planting early. In other areas of the country, it might not be as big a difference because they don't have as much daylight to catch.
So, very often you are probably hearing about, well, you have to have great soil to raise a great crop, and you have to have plenty of water. But one of the big things that not a lot of people talk about is you want lots of sunlight. If you have lots of sunlight, you have a much better chance to raise a great crop.
One other thing that could be taking advantage of all this daylight is our weed of the week. Can you identify this week's weed?